Story for all the latest with BBC News.
Tonight at 10, warm smiles and a cemented relationship as President Trump ends his two-day state visit. But the president still had some strong advice for the Prime Minister on illegal immigration.
I told the Prime Minister I would stop it, and it doesn't matter if you call out the military, it doesn't matter what means you use, but it destroys countries from within.
And tonight, the president attacked the mayor of London, claiming his absence at last night's state banquet was at his request.
No, I asked that he not be there. He wanted to be there, as I understand. I didn't want him. I've not liked him for a long time.
Meanwhile, parachuted into Windsor for 2 days, the First Lady spent time with the Princess of Wales and some scouts. Also tonight, the High Court rules in favour of the government being able to send an Eritrean man seeking asylum back to France. Top US TV star Jimmy Kimmel is taken off air indefinitely over comments about the murder of the right-wing activist Charlie Kirk. And the president, his wife, and their proof that she is and was born a woman.
On Newsnight at 10:30 tonight, we'll bring you fresh insight on the stories of the day with big interviews and our regular panel of Newsnighters. And of course, look at what the papers are saying about tomorrow's news.
Good evening. After the highly choreographed pomp and ceremony of yesterday, today saw the less scripted and potentially more volatile day two of President Trump's UK state visit, which he spent at Chequers, the Prime Minister's country home in Buckinghamshire. In a joint press conference after private talks.
What to do. I was lost in the world. It was more drugs, it was pills, it was alcohol. I was close to dying many times.
In the book, you reveal that you've been diagnosed with prostate cancer.
Yeah. I've always been checking myself for prostate cancer. 2023, checked myself again, and the doctor said, doesn't look too good.
And in the book, you describe it as extremely aggressive and at its most advanced stage. And you also say that you're going to fight every day like it's a Wimbledon final.
And if you want to continue watching the BBC News at 10, please turn over to BBC One, or you can watch on iPlayer. Next, it's Newsnight.
We've solved 7 wars. The one that I thought would be easiest would be because of my relationship with President.
We have a wealth of fossil sites, but perhaps none are quite so famous as this, the Jurassic Coast.
Yeah, we might find that kid who's got the raw talent, who's in a back street in Preston somewhere. That'd be amazing.
Look, the thing is...
We're moving back to Barry.
What?
You know, I'm just trying to figure out a way to make him stay in Liverpool.
I'm in Shetland.
You went home?
I did.
You were born here, right?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Born and raised in Birmingham, yeah. Think you'll find him one of the good ones? It's not a good idea to look at Tommy Shelby the wrong way.
we transmit throughout the whole of West London. Obviously, once you get to Shepherd's Bush, it gets a bit, white noisy.
So where are you from, then?
The Glens of Antrim.
Lovely part of the world.
You know, we don't come to London very much.
Oh, where do you come from then?
If you could go anywhere in the world, where would you go?
Glasgow. Bolton, baby! I'm back!
So if you ain't gonna celebrate me, you ain't gonna celebrate my life, then. You get out of my pub. You'll always be my friend.
Live from Washington, this is BBC News. President Trump wraps up his trip to the UK, holding a press conference with Prime Minister Keir Starmer on everything from Ukraine to trade to immigration. Fallout continues from the suspension of late-night host Jimmy Kimmel's TV show. And Israel strikes Hezbollah positions in southern Lebanon as the ground offensive to take control of Gaza City enters its third day. Hello, welcome to the programme. US President Donald Trump and the First Lady Melania are heading back to Washington following a state visit to the UK. The two-day trip featured regal ceremonies and a state banquet hosted by the royal family, as well as diplomacy on what...
We've solved 7 wars. The one that I thought would be easiest would be because of my relationship with President Putin, but he's let me down.
What a difference a month makes. Will President Trump finally take action to put pressure on Russia to agree a ceasefire in Ukraine? And after last night's cancellation of Jimmy Kimmel's late-night show, tonight President Trump says TV networks in the US could have their licenses revoked if they're too critical of him. What's happening to free speech and the First Amendment? Good evening. Welcome to Thursday's Newsnight live from Broadcasting House. Tonight we are discussing dissecting as well, day 2 of the wooing of President Trump and where it leaves 2 of the biggest conflicts in the world. Let me introduce your panel this evening. Katie McFarlane, who was the US Deputy National Security Advisor in Trump's first. We got the sentiments at the end, absolutely. Thank you very much for being with us. And thank you to you as well, and to our earlier guests as well. And Nick? That's it from us, from Nick and myself. Matt is here tomorrow. Till then, good night.
I'm Lewis Vaughan-Jones in Washington, and this is BBC World News America. US President Donald Trump finishes up his state visit to the UK with talks on Gaza, Ukraine and trade with Prime Minister Keir Starmer. Israel carries out airstrikes targeting Hezbollah in southern Lebanon as troops continue a ground offensive to take control of Gaza City. And the fallout continues from ABC's suspension of late-night TV show host Jimmy Kimmel over comments he made after the death of the right-wing activist Charlie Kirk. Welcome to the programme. US President Donald Trump and First Lady Melania are heading back to Washington after a state visit to the UK. The two-day trip featured regal ceremonies and a state banquet hosted by the royal family, as well as diplomacy.
The violence begins to escalate here. It's become almost routine, a tiny minority attacking the police in a country facing some daunting challenges. Andrew Harding, BBC News, Paris.
Well, still to come at this hour, I'll be joined by our panel to talk more about President Trump's state visit. Stay with us. For the moment, I'm Lewis Vaughan-Jones. This is BBC News.
Hello there, good evening. It's a rather mixed forecast over the next few days.